Good morning, dear students. Now we'll study about how to do the problems I have given for the assignment questions. The first question was determine the total elongation of a steel bar 63.5 centimeter long if the tensile stress is equal to 103.421 Newton per millimeter square. Now you have to find out the total elongation. Total elongation means you have to find out what is delta L. Now you have the equation delta L is equal to PL by AE. It is given in the question tensile stress. Now you have P by A is equal to stress, that is 103.421 Newton per millimeter square. So substituting in this equation delta L is equal to sigma into L by E. Sigma is given as 103.421 Newton per millimeter square. Since it is given in Newton and millimeter, we can substitute the same value 103.421 Newton per millimeter square. Now area, it is given in centimeter, that is 63.5 centimeter. So we can substitute here in millimeters, that is 635 millimeter divided by E. E is Young's modulus, which is equal to 2.1 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per millimeter square, because it is given in the question that it is a steel bar. So for a steel bar, you must always remember that the Young's modulus is 2.1 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per millimeter square. Substituting in this equation, you will get delta L is equal to 0.313 millimeter. Next question is determine the tensile force on a cylindrical steel bar of 25.4 millimeter diameter if the unit elongation is equal to 0.7 into 10 raised to minus 3. Unit elongation means elongation per unit length, that is delta L by L is given as 0.7 into 10 raised to minus 3. Unit elongation or strain is an unitless quantity. So you can write strain is equal to delta L by L, which is equal to P by AE. You have got this from the equation delta L equal to PL by AE. Now it is given diameter is 25.4 millimeter and it is given that the steel bar, so it is Young's modulus is 2.1 into 10 raised to 5 megapascal or 2.1 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per millimeter square. So we can substitute in this equation. You have to find out P. D is given, so you can write the area as pi d square by 4 into Young's modulus of elasticity. So you'll get the equation answer for P in Newton, and we can write it in kilonewton as 74.45 kilonewton. Now next question is what is the ratio of the moduli of elasticity of the materials of two bars of the same size if under the action of equal tensile forces the unit elongations of the bars are in the ratio 1:15 by 8. What is the meaning of unit elongation? Unit elongation is actually the strain or unit elongation per unit length, that is 1:15 by 8. It is the ratio of the strains. If we are taking the first material as 1 and second material as 2, small e1 is to e2 is given as 1:15 by 8. Given e1 is to e2 equal to 1:15 by 8. Now what is the equation for stress and strain? Stress is proportional to strain, or stress is equal to Young's modulus of elasticity into strain, from which you can write the Young's modulus of elasticity as P by A divided by stress by strain. Now it is given that P and A are same for both the materials, that is same size and action of equal tensile forces. So P and A are same. So you can write the ratio P by A1 by E1 is equal to small e1 is equal to capital E1, and P by A of the second material is equal to capital E2 into small e2. So from which you can write E2, capital E2 equal to P by A for the second material divided by strain of the second material. Now if you want to write the ratio of this Young's moduli of elasticities, E1 by E2 is equal to this one divided by the second portion. So it is given P and A are same for both the materials. So this one and this one cancels and the ratio becomes 1 by small e1 divided by 1 by small e2. So you can write this is equal to 1 by ratio of 1 by e1. e1 is 1. 1 by e1 is 1 itself. 1 by e2 is 8 by 15 because e2 is given as 15 by 8. So you will get the ratio of moduli of elasticity as 1:8 by 15. Now the next part of that question was determine these elongation, that is the unit elongations or strain. If one of the bars is of steel, the other of copper, and the tensile stress is 68.95 Newton per millimeter square. So one of the bars is steel means Young's modulus of elasticity is 2.1 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per millimeter square. Tensile stress sigma is equal to 68.95 Newton per millimeter square. So you can find out what is the unit elongation or elongation per unit length as delta L by L is equal to P by AE. Stress is given as 68.95. So we can substitute stress as 68.95 divided by 2 into 10 raised to 5 Young's modulus of elasticity. So you'll get the strain as 0.0033. We have substituted this in Newton per millimeter square, or this one in Newton per millimeter square. Strain is a unitless quantity. For copper, it is given that the Young's modulus of elasticity is 117 gigapascal. 117 gigapascal means 117 into 10 raised to 9 Newton per meter square. Pascal is Newton per meter square. So we have to convert this Newton per meter square into Newton per millimeter square. So dividing this by 10 raised to 6 meter square, you have to convert into millimeter square. So 10 raised to 9 by 10 raised to 6. So you'll get 117 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per millimeter square. Okay, so you'll get the answer for this one as the total elongation for copper, unit elongation or strain delta L by L is equal to P by E, which is sigma by E. Sigma is given as 68.95 Newton per millimeter square. So you'll get the strain as 0.0059 strain. So far we have studied about bars of uniform cross section. Now we'll see elongation of bars with varying cross section. Okay. So the question is, determine the elongation of the steel bar AB having a cross section area 645.16 meters square and subjected to the action of forces Q is equal to 44.48 kilonewton and P equal to 22.24 kilonewton. So here you have a bar AB which is subjected to different types of loads at different sections. So it is a bar with varying loads. So far we have studied about bars subjected to uniform loads. Both ends will be subjected to the same load. But here you can see at this end A, let this be end A. Let this be end A, and here you can see that at this end A you have a force Q. Okay, this is bar A, AB, and at this end B you have a load Q. Now in between you can see that there are some other loads. So let this be point C, and here at C a load CP is acting upwards, and let this be point D, and here also a load P is acting downwards. So in this case you have to consider each section separately. It is known as method of sections. So first in this portion BC you are drawing a section line. We are drawing here a section line and we are taking this much portion, and I am drawing here this much portion. So here Q is acting downwards. When you take the bottommost portion of this under the section line, you can see here Q is acting downwards. So let the reactive force be R. Due to the action of this Q, reactive force be R. So we have drawn the free body diagram. Now let us apply the equation of equilibrium sigma V equal to 0 here. In this bottommost portion, we are going to apply the equation of equilibrium sigma V equal to 0. Okay. Now, what is the sign convention we are taking? We are taking all the forces acting downwards as positive. So here Q is acting downwards. So let us take it as plus. Now R is acting upwards. So let us take it as negative. So Q minus R is equal to 0. So you will get the resultant reactive force R is equal to Q. Now we can see that this much portion of the bottommost portion of the bar is subjected to tensile force. So there will be elongation. So the elongation is positive since the resultant force is tensile. The bottommost portion is subjected to tensile force. So the resultant force is resultant elongation is positive. So now let us consider another section line passing through this portion, that is the portion CD. So when you take the equilibrium of the portions below this section line, we can draw this separately, the free body diagram. This portion is subjected to a load Q, and this portion, at this portion you have the load P. So when you let us assume that the resultant reactive force is R, let it be acting upwards. We are assuming that this is acting upwards. So when I write sigma V equal to 0, what are the forces acting downwards? Q is acting downwards. So I have written here plus Q. Now P is acting upwards. So I have written here minus P. R is acting upwards. So I have written here minus R, which is equal to 0. So I will get the resultant reactive force R when you take it to the right side. R is equal to Q minus P. That is the resultant reactive force R is equal to Q minus P. And here you have assumed R acting upwards and you have got it as positive. So what we have assumed is correct, and this much portion of the this middle portion of the bar is subjected to tension. So there will be elongation in this middle portion DC also. Okay. Now let us consider the equilibrium of by taking a section line through this portion AD. We are taking a section line through this portion AD, and we are considering the equilibrium of the portion below the section line. So what are the forces acting here? Q is acting downwards, P is acting upwards. At this point P is acting downwards, and let the resultant reactive force be R. So we are assuming it acting upwards. Now we can write all the forces acting downwards as positive, that is Q is acting downwards, plus this P is acting upwards, so minus, this P is acting downwards, so plus P, and this R is acting, we have assumed it is acting upwards, so minus R is equal to 0. So now we can write the resultant force R is equal to R, we are taking to the right side of the equal to sign, Q minus P plus P. Minus P plus P becomes cancelled. So you'll get R is equal to Q. Now we can see here this is tensile. This portion A, D is also subjected to tension, and there will be elongation. So the elongation is positive. Now all these portions are subjected to tensile stress. So it will be elongated, and the elongation is positive. Deformation is positive. Now I can write this top and bottom portion. You can see it is subjected to Q. Bottom portion is also subjected to Q. This topmost portion is also, AD is also subjected to a resultant reactive force of Q. So I can write the equation for finding out the elongation. Delta L1 for the top and bottom portion is 2Q into, instead of P, top and bottom I have taken it same, 2Q into L by A. Because the length of all these portions is same. It is given the length as 254. This one, DC is also 254. CB is also 254. So I can take the elongation for the top and bottom portion as 2 times Q into L by AE. And for the middle portion it is equal to Q minus P into L by AE. Now I can substitute all the values. Q is given as 44.48 kilonewton. So into 10 raised to 3, area is 250, L is 254 millimeter, area is 645.16 meter square. So I have to convert it into millimeter square. Capital E, it is given as a steel bar, so E is equal to 2.1 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per millimeter square. So I'll get the elongation as 0.208 millimeter. So the deformation is positive because all the portions are subjected to tensile load. Okay. So this is the this is how you have to solve the elongation of bars with varying sections. So you have to consider section line through each of the portions where the load changes, and you have to write the equation of equilibrium sigma V equal to 0. So if the bar was a horizontal, it was kept horizontally, you have to take sigma H equal to 0, and you assume the direction for reactive force as tension or compression. So if you are getting positive sign, your assumption was correct. Otherwise your assumption will be wrong, and you have to write equation of equilibrium and you find the reactive force. If it is subjected to tension, the deformation will be positive, that is elongation. If it were subjected to compression, then the elongation, there will not be any elongation. The deformation will be decrease in length. So you have to take it as negative. So if it is elongation, that the deformation is positive, there will be increase in length. If the force is compressive, there will be decrease in length, that is the deformation will be negative. If the tensile force is applied, If the reactive force is tensile, then the elongation will be positive. That is, it will elongate.